However, in this video, we will discuss Python Lambda. In Python, Lambda is a small and anonymous function that can have any number of arguments, but can only have one expression. Lambda functions are also known as anonymous functions or lambda expression. They are often used for short and simple operations that can be defined in a single line of code. The lambda is arguments is to expression, right? Here is a simple example of a lambda function that adds two numbers. Here add lambda is equal to x comma y, x plus 5. Result add 5 comma 3. Here condition is true. Print the result of 5 plus 3 is 10. This is called lambda expression example. Multi-line, but lambda expression is mostly in single line. In the example lambda x comma y is 2. Here is expression, right? Expression, or sorry, argument x comma y are arguments. Expression, here's the expression, right? Now defines a lambda function that takes in two arguments, x and y are the two arguments. Return this sum. They assign the lambda function to the variable add and then call it with the values 5 and 3. Lambda functions are often used in place where functions are short-lived and can be defined inline, such as when using higher order functions like map, filter, and reduce. Here is an example using map to apply lambda functions to a list of numbers. Here is the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now squared underscore numbers is equal to list of map lambda x argument into expression square of the numbers. These are numbers. Okay. Want to get the list of map. Here is the list of mapping of these values. What is map here? Map to apply is a lambda function list of numbers. You get the list of the numbers. Okay, now in this example, you can use map to apply lambda function. It can calculate the sequence of each numbers list. The list function is used to convert the result into list. Lambda functions are convenient way to write small simple functions without the need for explicitly defining the named functions. However, they are limited in terms of complexity and should not be used for more complex operations. For more complex functions, it is better to define regular named functions using the def keyword. Here's some of Python lambda methods. In Python, lambda functions, also known as lambda expression, are small anonymous functions that can be used inline in your code. Lambda functions can be applied to various methods of functions in Python to create concise and readable code. Here is explain how lambda functions with some built-in Python methods. Here map and map function. Given function to all items is iterable. Example, a list and returns an iterable with the results. There is a numbers and square underscore numbers. So list map lambda. X is the argument, x is the expression numbers. We print the numbers like using map. Now filters. In example, lambda function is a sequence of using numbers. Like the filters. Filter function use elements from iterable based on given function results. This is the number list. Even number, the list of filter of lambda here argument x is expression is 0. They're from numbers. You get the only even numbers by using filters. Right? I'm using this lambda function. Here. Okay. Now sorted. The functions sort iterables based on specified key functions. Here name, alias, Bob, Charlie, David, and E. These are in order, right? A, B, C, D, E. Right? Now sorted the names. Sorted the names key equal to lambda of x and length of the x by using the length, not the character starting from. Length is it sorted. First Bob and Eve and Elias and David and Charlie. Now they will be sorted like this. Max and minimum. You can use lambda functions to find a maximum or minimum elements of an iterable based on a custom citation. Here points 2, 3, 1, 5, 4, 2, 3, 7. The maximum point, max of points, key lambda is x of 1. So what is output first here? 3 of 7 because maximum output here is 1, 2, 3, 4. But maximum output will be 7 is the maximum output. So output will be 3, 7. The lambda function is used to find the maximum point based on the second element, okay, not the first element. Now reduce. The reduce method uses in the reduce function tool module is used for cumulative operators on iterable. From function tools, import reduce numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Product is equal to reduce lambda x comma y is to x into y number. Print of product out is equal to 120 because x comma y. What is the x comma y here? X comma y numbers like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 like this. X and y in numbers is this one. X and y, where are x and y? The output will be like this. Here all in multiplication will get the output 120. This is called a reducing function for function tools. Here you can reduce the function using functioning of tool. The lambda function is applied successfully to calculate the product of all the numbers in the list. The lambda functions are a powerful tool for creating a small and specialized function on the fly, making a code more concise and readable. When used appropriately, however, they should be used judiciously and kept simple for better code maintainability. This is of this video about lambda functions on Python. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this video, we'll discuss Python lambda functions. Here add is equal to lambda of x comma y is the expressions, sorry, is the arguments and x plus y is the expression. Now to run this, the result will be the output will be 8 because expression is 5 plus 3. Suppose I want to give minus here, the output will be 2. So I want to give your into, where is the into symbol? Yeah. I want to give into, it's 15. Okay. So I want to give plus only. Output will be the 8. Output will be 8. Okay. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to assign this by using square function. Here is the argument. Expression is hx will be squared 1 square 2 square 3 square 4 square 5 square. The output will be 1 4 9 6 and the output will be same like the same format. Okay, it's called lambda expressions. Now the lambda expression mapping of this same and copied same. Okay, now coming to this one here, I want to do percentage of the number by 2. This value I want to get only the even numbers, so 2 4 6 8. I want to get output like this. Here using filter lambda x percentage by 2 equal to percentage 0 equal to number. Equal using filters. Here I want to get output of Bob and by using sorted by sorting of their values. Bob and Eve and Elias and David Charlie by using the structure of a string length. Okay, by sorting by the length of the string. Now coming to points 2 3 1 5. Here is highest value will be the 7. And second value, the output will be 3 comma 7 is the output because by using maximum points from lambda x is to x of 1. Okay, this is called output will be 3 comma 7 is the output. Now coming to from factorial of import reduction, reduce function will be the output will be 120 into output will be 100 because I want to reduce by using x into y. 1 into 2, 2 into 3, 4 into 5, 5 4 into 5. This is called reduction function using lambda functions in Python programming. This is called lambda functions in single line programming or multi-line programming also. This is of this video about lambda in Python. Thank you. Hello viewer. In this video, we will discuss what is the advantages uses of lambda functions in Python are used primarily for creating small and simple anonymous functions that can be used in variety of contexts. There's some common use cases for lambda functions are short-lived functions by using def and functions, and functional programming by using map, filter, and reduce. Sorting or ordering, you can use lambda functions as a key argument in sorting functions like sorted to specify custom sorting criteria. For example, sorting a list of dictionaries by a particular key by using sort underscore list. Sorted list of digs comma key equal to lambda of expression of some key value by using sort like this. And filtering by using filter argument like this. You can give any expression like you want. Mapping, you want to map the value and you get output like from your list. Is you apply operation to each element with trouble, generating a new attribute. And callbacks also you can use. And custom aggregations by using reducing functions. on one-time function, like it is called one-time function. Lambda is an argument and expression. And debugging and testing. The mainly is used for debugging and testing, a single line testing of debugging of process, especially when you want to test a small piece of code and functionality. While Lambda functions is more offer flexibility and brevity, it's essential to use them judiciously for more complex or reusable functions. It is generally better to define a named function using def to improve readability and maintainability. Lambda functions are more suitable for short, simple operations where a full function definition will be overly verbose. This is all of this video about advantages of Python of functions, of Lambda functions. This is all of this video. Thank you. Hi everyone. In this video, we will discussing about Python Lambda functions and interview questions for technical round. What is the first question? What is a Lambda function in Python? How it is different from regular function? Lambda function in Python is a small and anonymous function defined using the Lambda keyword. It can have any number of arguments but can only have one expression. Lambda functions are typically used for short and simple operations. Don't require a formal def statement or a function name. Second question, explain the syntax of Lambda function. A syntax of Lambda function as follows. Lambda arguments is to expression. A Lambda is a keyword used to define a Lambda function. Arguments are input parameters that the Lambda function can accept. Expression is a single expression that is evaluated and returned as the result of the Lambda function. Third question, what are some common use cases for Lambda functions in Python? The Lambda functions are commonly used for passing simple functions as arguments to higher order functions like map, filter, and reduce. Specifying custom sorting criteria for some functions like sorted. Defining quick, short, live functions for specific tasks. And creating concise callback functions for event-driven programs. Applying simple operations to iterable elements using map. These are the common use cases of Lambda function in Python. Fourth question, how do you use Lambda function with a map function? You can use map function to apply Lambda function to each element iterable. For example, is the number of list. I am giving the list of map of Lambda functions like this. I want to get this weights of the numbers. You can use Lambda function by using map function. Explain how to use Lambda function with the filter function. Yes, the filter function elements from the iterable based on the specified condition. You can use Lambda function to define the filtering condition. For example, is the numbers. Even number is equal to list of filter. Lambda. Here is the expression, arguments and expression like this. And numbers. This is called use of Lambda function with the filter. Now, how can you sort a list of dictionaries by a specific key using a Lambda function? Yes, you can use sorted function with a Lambda function as a key argument. For example, to a sort list of dictionaries by the age, key is assigning order. Sorted list is equal to sorted list of dics. Key is equal to Lambda. Here is equal to age. This is called dictionary specific key value. We are using specific key to get the output. Okay. Now, seventh question. What is the purpose of key arguments in sorted functions and how it is with Lambda functions? Yes, key argument in the sorted function specify custom sorting criterion. It takes a function such as Lambda function that calculates a value for each element in the iterable, and sorting is based on these calculated values. This allows you to customize how the sorting is performed. Eighth question. Can you use Lambda function with recursion? Yes. Lambda function can be used in recursion function, but it's not a common practice. Recursive function typically require a named function to call itself. Lambda functions are more suitable for simple and non-recursive operations. Like here, ninth question. Explain how to use Lambda function with a reduce function from function tools module. Yes. The reduce function applies binary function cumulatively elements of each level. You can use Lambda function to define how two values should be combined. For example, to calculate the product of list of numbers. From function tools, import the reduce. In this, you can use modules like a function tools like. Okay. number of lists. Reducing of lambda functions into here you can get the value 120 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. This is called as a function of lambda function with reduced function. What are the limitations of lambda function in Python? Yes, there are some limitations in Python. They can only certain single expression. Okay? They are limited in complexity, should not use for more complex operations, as they lack documentation strings, doc strings, can make code less readable if overused, right? They are primarily designed for short, simple tasks, not for defining large and reusable functions. These are the limitations of Python Lambda functions, right? This is all of the interview questions on technical round in Python, mainly for Python I. This is all of this video about this video. Thank you.